All right. A live stream here from the Thunder Ice Arena in Angola, Indiana. This is going to be game one of the Force versus the Blue Jackets. Hey, Dre and Chris are here. Dre and Chris are here. Okay. All right, I see we got 3 in here now. If somebody could leave a message in the chat or let me know if we're good on video and audio.
What's up, dude?
Force will be in white, Blue Jackets are in blue. Thank you for the update on the sound. Appreciate it. We are pre-game right now. The 3-minute clock for the warm-ups has not started yet. Force aren't quite out of the locker room just yet. Turn the camera away from the Blue Jackets as soon as the Force get out there. Game 1, Force against the Blue Jackets. Game 2 was moved up to 1 o'clock from 3. So our second game will be a little sooner than first advertised. These 2 teams meeting at a neutral location here in Angola, Indiana. The Fort Wayne Force against Columbus Blue Jackets.
He's got a white helmet.
Under a minute left here in warm-ups before we get started. Starting lineup for the Force is going to be Westhoff, Sutherland, Zaremba with Kiefer and Warner back on defense. You got to commentate with me? You can get goals when they score. I'll bring it to you. You can sit up here if you want. We got a special guest, Cash Conley.
What's up?
Gonna help commentate today. All right, chipped ahead in the offensive zone by Zaremba. Taken away by the Blue Jackets. Stopped advancement there by Westhoff as Zaremba keeps it in the offensive zone. Touch the neutral zone for Kiefer. He's tied up, and the Blue Jackets back the other way. Shot from deep, wide of the net, around behind, gathered up by Kiefer. Shot on goal, blocked in front by Warner. Kick to the side with a pad of Quas. Kept in by the Blue Jackets. Shot from deep, tips wide of the net. Into the corner, picked up by Westhoff. Down for icing. Taking the face off is going to be Hagen. One back for Kelly. Kelly around behind the net. Kept in by the Blue Jackets. Pressured by Huffman, chipped ahead. Frey's lead skater there for the Force. Now Huffman to apply some pressure as the Blue Jackets wind behind their own net. Gia strips it. Dumps it down low. Hagen racing to the corner for Fort Wayne. Puck loose, chipped ahead by Huffman, back for the Blue Jackets. Pass intercepted in the neutral zone by Kelly, thrown back into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Back onto the stick of Huffman. Huffman takes a shot. It's punched high by the goaltender from the Blue Jackets. Taken away now by Hagen. Hagen finding center ice here, skating towards the net, moves around one, loses a handle on it as it trickles behind the net. Picked up by the Blue Jackets, pressured by Fraze. Kelly back on defense with Blackburn. Stolen away by Fraze. Murphy into the neutral zone around one. Murphy with one to beat. Into the offensive zone, swings wide, around another player, backhand. Oh! Score! Murphy Fraze opening scoring here, 11:54 remaining in the first. Puck back into the neutral zone, going to be gathered up by McDonald. Stopped advancement by the Blue Jackets, kept in there by Fryer as he entered. Blue Jackets back the other way with Llewellyn and Cumberland back on defense. Puck comes to Llewellyn, loses the handle on it into the corner. Pinned against the wall. Taken away by the Blue Jackets. Coming in is McDonald. McDonald racing ahead. He's got Fryer and Potts. Goes around one, gets tripped up as the puck goes into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Taken away by the Blue Jackets. Pressured by Potts. Kept in at the blue line by Fryer, laying there. Kick to the neutral zone, back for Kiefer. Kiefer dumps it in deep. Blue Jackets with breakout pass into the neutral zone. Back checking there, Potts. They flip it into their offensive zone. Gathered by Warner behind the net. Around the boards it goes, up for Potts. Joining the mix there is McDonald. Blue Jackets come away with it. Shoot one. Blocked in front by Kiefer. Kiefer back the other way with Fryer and Potts. Doesn't quite connect on the pass as the puck goes in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Blue Jackets take it away. Mounting an attack the other way through center ice with speed. Shot. Wide of the net. Going to be gathered up by Blackburn around behind the net. Reverses. Looking to break out. Blackburn taking it himself. Chips it ahead to Zaremba. Doesn't quite connect as the puck's going to go all the way down for icing.
What's that? Yeah. So he goes and tracks him where I am. Tough number. So I didn't have to move it inside.
Face-off going to be taken by Sutherland. One back by the Blue Jackets, but now onto the stick of Westhoff. Westhoff has it stripped away. Sutherland. His advancement is stopped by the Blue Jackets. Blackburn back on defense with Kelly. Blackburn ties him up, taken away by Zaremba. Zaremba chipping the puck ahead into his skates. Into the offensive zone. Back the other way by the Blue Jackets. Swinging wide. Columbus poked off there by Cumberland as the puck goes out of danger around behind the net. Puck chipped up to Westhoff, kept in by the Blue Jackets at the blue line. Zaremba racing after the puck. Flips it into the neutral zone. Back together are the Blue Jackets. Full change for the Force. As Westhoff ties them up on their end. Huffman joins the mix there with Hagen. Puck into center ice, gathered up by Hagen. Harry has it stripped away. Huffman picks up the loose puck. Pinched off on the boards. Huffman takes one down. Out wide, pressured by Fraze. Taken away by Hagen. Hagen reverses. Comes off his skates. Blue Jackets pick up the loose puck. All the way back down the ice for Cumberland. Cumberland flips it behind the net for Llewellyn. Taken away by the Blue Jackets. Now stripped by Hagen. Hagen through center ice here. He's got Fraze. Hagen passes it over Fraze. Fraze with the backhand just wide of the net. Out to center ice for Potts. Misses his stick. Almost kept in the blue line by Kiefer. Blue Jackets back the other way. On defense, there's Llewellyn. Around Llewellyn, takes a shot. Stopped by Kiefer before he could get the shot off. Puck loose out front. Flipped all the way down the ice. Looks like it's going to be right on net. Punched off the side by the Blue Jackets goaltender. Pressured up ahead by Potts. Breakout pass doesn't connect. Kiefer picks it up. And back on the defensive end here for Fort Wayne, gathered by Warner. Warner up ahead to Fryer. Puck into the offensive zone. Flip back the other way by the Blue Jackets onto the stick of Kiefer and now McDonald. Cross ice pass connects for the Blue Jackets as they enter the offensive zone, pressured by Kiefer. Puck loose, shot attempt is wide. In the corner is Warner. Up to the blue line for the Blue Jackets, dump back into the corner. Flip towards the net, out front, score. I think we're back online now. Computer was kicked off. If you didn't witness that, the Blue Jackets scored on a loose rebound out in front of Wyatt Quas. So it's tied up the game 1-1. 6:45 remains in the first. Face-off controlled by the Force. Back for Kelly. Taken away by the Blue Jackets for the moment, but now onto the stick of Zaremba. Zaremba's got Westhoff. Trailing there is Sutherland. Into the offensive zone is Max. Passes it out. Can't quite get it to the crease. Blue Jackets back the other way with Blackburn and Kelly on defense. Tied up, knocked down there is Blue Jackets player as Kelly gathers it up behind the net. Now onto the stick of Sutherland. He fans on a pass attempt. Now clears it out around the boards, gathered up by the Blue Jackets. Shot towards the net on the backside. Another shot saved there, Quas. Blackburn down low to fight for the puck. Gathers it up. Breaks it out to Sutherland. Ahead is Westhoff. Into center ice, the Blue Jackets gather the loose puck. Kept in at the blue line by Kelly. Into the neutral zone, pressured by Fraze. Blue Jackets enter, taken away by Hagen. Hagen around behind the net, cuts two defenders there, has it knocked off his stick. Picked up now by Cumberland. Cumberland's got Fraze and Huffman. Shoots one from deep, skips around, score!
Goal!
By Aiden Cumberland. From the blue line by Cumberland, put the Force up 2-1, 5:12 remaining.
After the scores, you can watch the replay down here because it's on a delay. So you can see everything a little bit later.
Puck stripped away by Fraze, backhanded into the neutral zone. Going to be picked up by the Blue Jackets. Cross ice pass, defended there by Fraze. Back for Llewellyn. Llewellyn, Fraze, and Hagen there, tied up. Onto the stick of Hagen. Hagen through center ice. Picking up speed is Hagen. Hagen shoots one from wide. Sticked way up over the net by the Blue Jackets goaltender. Stripped back by Hagen now. Picks it up in the corner, flips it up, taken away by the Blue Jackets. Breakout pass doesn't connect, kept in by Huffman. Gia fighting for it as the Blue Jackets finally gather it up. Looking to break out. We got 4:25 remaining in the period. Loose puck gathered by Llewellyn. Up to Fraze. Back on the stick of Llewellyn. Llewellyn, McDonald, 2-on-1 the other way. Llewellyn, has a poke checked off his stick before he could get it down low. Blue Jackets cross the line to game. Swinging out wide. Shot. Trickles behind the net. Gathered up by McDonald. Into the corner for Kiefer. Dumped back down low, stolen away by Llewellyn. Llewellyn high off the glass, down for icing. I'm hoping this is streaming well for everybody because my picture here on my computer is buffering. So we're going to hope 3:40 remains in the first period. Controlled back by the Blue Jackets. Lane to shoot. Blocked in front there by Warner. Loose puck. Now on the stick of Fryer. Fryer dumps it into the neutral zone. Gathered by the Blue Jackets. Back through center ice comes Columbus. Shot. Off target in the corner for McDonald. He's pinned against the boards. Taken away by Columbus. Now on the stick of Kiefer. Shot towards the net, blocked there by Kiefer, gathered by the Blue Jackets behind the net. Feeds it out to center ice, nobody home. Blue Jackets racing back to gather a loose puck. Up ahead is McDonald and Fryer for Fort Wayne. Ripped around the boards by the Blue Jackets. Onto the stick of Fryer. Fryer dumps it back into the offensive zone. Max McDonald ahead for the Force. Pass intercepted there by Zaremba. Now onto the stick of Fryer. Fryer dumps it in the offensive zone. Stripped away by Westhoff. Westhoff now. Shot. Goes around behind the net. Stolen away by Zaremba. Picked up by the Blue Jackets. As they cut through center ice, stripped away by Blackburn. Now onto the stick of Westhoff. Westhoff tries to toe drag it there. Stripped from him. Back on defense is Blackburn and Warner. Warner pushes them to the corner. Centering feed. Swiped away by Quas. Open ice. Picked up the loose puck. There's Westhoff. Westhoff and Fraze ahead for the Force. Shot towards the net. Kicked to the side by the Blue Jackets goaltender. Kept in by Sutherland. At the blue line is Blackburn. Shot from deep. Kick to the side by the Blue Jackets. Kept in at the blue line by Kelly. Played with a high stick there by the Blue Jackets. First one's to touch it. It's going to be Fort Wayne. Kept in again at the blue line by Blackburn. That was a questionable offsides. Looked good from up here. Gathered up by the Blue Jackets through center ice, swiped away by Huffman over to Fraze. Murphy now around one, picks up the loose puck in center ice and dumps it into the offensive zone. Stolen away by Hagen. Hagen towards center ice here. Fraze on the backside, couldn't quite connect. Stick lift, but possession kept by Columbus. Pass intercepted by Cumberland, flipped ahead to Huffman. Now onto the stick of Fraze with Hagen. Fraze towards Hagen. Loose on the doorstep. Backhand almost connected with Hagen. Tied up behind the net. Joining in the mix there is Fraze. Comes away with a loose puck. Fires one towards the net. Now another shot as the puck trickles into the corner. Coming into the boards there is Fraze as a penalty is going to come up on Columbus. So with 10 seconds remaining in the first period, the Force will go to a power play. As a penalty was on number 22, Kane from Columbus. Face-off controlled by the Blue Jackets. They flip it down the ice as the period will expire. Force up 1 after 1.
It's freezing on me, so I don't know what to do with this.
What's up? You helping him?
It's calling my goals.
After the first period, what'd you think of Force's performance out there?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you think they're going to keep a hold of this one?
I don't know.
What do you think they need to work on here in the second period? What would make the team better?
Probably a little bit more passing in the neutral zone.
Yeah? All right, we'll see if they can handle that going into the second period.
Who scored the first two?
Tom Brilliant scored the second one from the blue line on a long shot. Who scored the first one? I don't think it was Haley. Was it? Might have been Haley. I don't know.
Starting off the second period here. Face-off controlled by Fort Wayne. Racing ahead is Max McDonald. Gathers the loose puck in the offensive zone. Backhands it towards the crease. Tipped out front. Columbus back the other way. Out to center ice. Picked up by Kiefer. Kiefer enters. Dumps it into the corner. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Potts with Fryer and McDonald and Warner and Kiefer. Puck taken away by Fryer through the neutral zone. Dumped in. Back for Warner. Warner throws it ahead. Can't connect on the pass. It'll go down for icing.
I think it's a minute and a half.
Face-off controlled by the Force. Kelly flips it around behind the net for Zaremba. Zaremba has it stolen away. Columbus with a shot from deep. Saved up high by Quas. Puck chipped into the corner, now on the stick of Westhoff. Out of the box is Kane from Columbus. Back to full strength hockey. Taken away by Sutherland as he loses it into the corner. Puck comes out high at the blue line for Kelly. Feeds it back to Zaremba. Stolen away by the Blue Jackets. Sticking to the skates there. No call, another shot. Kicked into the corner. Picked up by Westhoff. Westhoff feeds it out front. Shot. Pad save there by the Blue Jackets. Sutherland now. Fight for the puck. Comes back to Kelly. Kelly feeds it up to Westhoff. Westhoff dumps it in to the offensive zone. So he goes for a change. Behind the net, pressured by Zaremba. Stolen away by Sutherland, flipped back down deep in the offensive zone. Fraze pokes at it as the Blue Jackets come through center ice. Pressured by Hagen. Hagen strips the puck. Picked up by Murphy. Murphy with speed here. Chips it around one player as Columbus throws it back into the neutral zone on the stick of Llewellyn. Flipped back the other way by Fraze, gathered by the Blue Jackets. Murphy around two players there. He's got Hagen now on the backside, tries to feed it to him. Hagen loses the puck on the doorstep. Huffman comes in to shoot one, saved there by the Blue Jackets. Faceoff comes back to Kiefer. Kiefer fires one towards the net. Tempted tip there by Hagen as it goes into the corner. Hagen loses the handle on the puck for the second, gains back control, and the puck comes to Warner at center ice. Flipped ahead. Couldn't quite control the pass as Huffman dumped in by Kiefer. Into the corner. Blue Jackets push it ahead. Stopped advancement there by Fraze. Kept in at the blue line by Warner. Dumped back in deep. Picked up by Fraze in the corner. Reverses, feeds it up high for Warner. Warner throws one towards the net. Doesn't quite make it. Pushed in the corner by Columbus. Sauce pass. Up ahead. It's a race towards the puck. Kiefer and Warner getting back on defense. Taken away by Kiefer. Cross ice pass. Going to be controlled by Fraze. Murphy loses a handle on it, then gains possession of the puck back on the defensive end. Throws it ahead, touched ahead to McDonald. Back on the stick of Warner. Warner up to McDonald. Dumped deep into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. 9:30 remains in the second. Loose puck going back and forth, gathered by Columbus. Open ice shot on the ice, kicks around behind the net. Fed towards the middle now. Second shot, save Quas. Faceoff gathered up by Fryer. Columbus takes it away, enters the offensive zone. Backside for Fryer. Fryer flips it ahead onto the stick of McDonald, loses a handle on it as Columbus takes it, gains back control of the puck, swinging wide. And back to the penalty box is going to be number 22, Kane. 8:33 left here in the second. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Zaremba, Sutherland with Westhoff, Kelly, and Blackburn. Face-off win back by the Force. Touch up to the blue line for Blackburn. Blackburn throws one down to the net on the stick of Sutherland. Shot, score! Blackburn to Sutherland. Puts the Force up 2 early on the power play. What'd you think of that goal?
Pretty good.
What's that?
A no-look pass from Blackburn at the D down in front of the net.
All right, then picked up and dumped in by Sutherland. Blackburn feeds it out to Westhoff. Westhoff breaks through the blue line, swings wide. Shot, save there by the Blue Jackets. Through the neutral zone. Across the line again is Columbus, blocked in front by Blackburn, regains control of the puck, tries to send one towards the net, goes wide. Puck out front for Westhoff. Westhoff tries to get it to Zaremba. Zaremba out ahead for the Force. Zaremba, shot. It doesn't quite trickle through the goaltender from Columbus. Now went 5-hole. As the goaltender falls back and makes a save. 3-1 Force with 7:43 remaining in the second.
Yeah, it just counts up.
Face-off controlled by Columbus. Back on defense is going to be Cumberland and Llewellyn. Back checking there is Hagen. Loose puck picked up by Fraze. We got a 3-on-2 the other way. Fraze, Hagen, and Huffman. Swinging wide is Murphy. Sends it to Hagen. Hagen with a shot. Tipped wide. Breakout pass stopped by Huffman. Back on the stick of Hagen. Hagen winds towards center ice. Shot, score! Hagen off the strip from Huffman. Chalks another one up. Oh, I didn't get it to you. Sorry.
That was a pretty nice goal. Sweet.
No, it should be 4. Taken away by Fraze. Shot goes wide. Loose around the boards, gathered up by Columbus, pressured by Huffman. Back for Cumberland. Columbus on the defensive end, pressured by Hagen, taken away by Fraze. Murphy towards the net, loses a handle on it, covered up by the goaltender. 6:45 left in the second. Into the face-off circle is going to be Max McDonald. Picks up his own face-off win and gathers it in the corner, backhands it in deep. Pressure by Potts. Fryer over to take it away. Pinned against the boards. Puck comes out for Columbus. Back on the stick of Fryer. Fryer towards the net. Shot saved there by Columbus. Around behind the net. Loses a handle on it as the Blue Jackets flip it up the ice. Kept in off the skate of Kiefer. Down low. Pressured by Potts. Stolen away by McDonald. Onto the stick of Potts. Backhands it back to McDonald as he puts it in around behind the net for Fryer. Fryer now blocked pass attempt by the Blue Jackets. Breakout doesn't connect. Kiefer coming up to touch the puck back into the offensive zone. He's rode into the boards as Coach Potts almost took a stick to the head. Columbus keeps it in the offensive zone. Down low for McDonald. Puck loose. Controlled now by Columbus. Stolen away by McDonald. Around behind the net he goes. Breaking out the other way with a 2-on-1 with Fryer across the blue line. Skating wide is McDonald. Shot saved there by the Blue Jackets. Retreating is Blackburn with Warner back there as well. Centering pass, 5-hole on Quas as Columbus puts one in the net to bring it back within 2. Face-off one back down by the Blue Jackets. Stolen away by Zaremba. Passes it over to Sutherland. Sutherland backhands one towards the net. Westhoff with it now. Tries to lift it up over the pads of the goaltender, and the Blue Jackets keeps it out of the net. 4:39 remains in the second. Puck taken away by Sutherland through the neutral zone. Pushed back up by Kelly. Columbus gathers on the defensive end. Offsides. Face-off win by Hagen over to Fraze. Murphy dumps it in deep. Hot after him is Hagen. Takes the puck away in the corner, tries to feed it through the crease. Tied up, now feeds it up high to Fraze. Fraze with a shot, save Columbus. Face-off controlled now by Fraze. Fraze towards the net. Backhands it onto the backside. Almost connected with Hagen off that rebound. Retreating is Blackburn. Kelly there in position as well. Taken away by Hagen before they had a chance. Hagen with a breakout here. Across the blue line. Hagen towards the net. Loses the handle on it. Feeds the crease. Nobody home. Taken away by Columbus. Good position there by Kelly. They take a shot. Save Quas. Picked up by the Jackets on along the boards. Stolen away by Fraze. Murphy enters. Murphy swinging wide. Around one. Toe drag. Shot. Score!
Nasty toe drag by Murphy into the goal. Past it. Gio with the goal.
So that was a score from Murphy over to Huffman. Thought the initial shot went in. Must have been off the post and then dumped back in. Force up 5-2. Face-off controlled by the Force. Fryer dumps it in the offensive zone. 3 minutes remaining. Out to center ice for Llewellyn. Colliding there was Llewellyn and Fryer. Puck comes out to Potts. Potts tied up. McDonald with the puck. Stolen away by the Blue Jackets. Back the other way with a 3-on-2. Llewellyn and Cumberland on defense. Face-off picked up by Max McDonald. Stripped away now by McDonald. 2-on-2 the other way with Fryer. Feeds it over to him. Touched in by Fryer. Taken away by the Blue Jackets. Gathered up by Llewellyn. So he puts it to center ice for Potts. Now on the stick of Fryer. And now McDonald. It's going to be offsides. 2:16 remaining in the second. Picked up by Westhoff. We got a 3-on-1 the other way with Sutherland and Zaremba. Westhoff towards the net. Shoots one. Saved there by the Blue Jackets. Backhand attempt. Cleared out by Columbus. Tied up by Westhoff. Taken down. Westhoff around one. Towards the net he goes with Zaremba on the backside. Shot. Zaremba fans on the shot attempt on the rebound. Loose puck out front. Gathered by Westhoff now. Comes out for Zaremba. Zaremba rode into the boards. Picking up a penalty here is, again, number 22, Kane. That'll be the third penalty on Kane. 1:42 remains here in the second. Face-off controlled by Columbus. Up high for Warner. Now onto the stick of Hagen. Hagen up high for Fraze. Couldn't quite connect. Now Huffman with it. Loses her balance as Columbus takes it and goes the other way. Short-handed is Columbus as they enter the offensive zone. Shot blocked in front by Warner. Picked up by Hagen. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Hagen, Huffman, Fraze with Kiefer and Warner. Hagen across the line to gain for Fort Wayne. Blocked pass attempt. Now feeds it up for Fraze. Loses the handle on it. Gathers shot. Blocked by Columbus. Into the corner. Gathered by Fraze. Puts it in deep behind the net. Warner up high. Calling for it. Gets it. Warner gathers. Rips one towards the net. Just high over the top of the net. Back for Kiefer. Huh. 34 seconds remains on the power play. Fryer, McDonald, Potts with Blackburn and Kelly. Shot towards the net, saved there by Quas, gathered by Blackburn behind the net. Into his skates. Loose. Picked up by McDonald. McDonald and Fryer. Loses at the blue. Oh.
Questionable offsides.
Yeah, questionable at best on the offsides call.
Questionable at best.
Puck gathered by the Blue Jackets, defended by Blackburn with Kelly there to help around both of them. Shot wide of the net, picked up by McDonald. McDonald taken into the boards. Puck loose for Kelly. Kelly high off the glass for Blackburn. Blackburn chips it around one player, feeds it out to center ice for Fryer. Touched ahead by Fryer. Fryer on a breakaway with 3 seconds remaining. Fryer shot, saved by Columbus to end the period.
You want to do the whole third period? Yeah, just give it to you and you can do it. You don't want to? You just talk what's going on out there. No? Okay.
Entering the third period, 14 minutes to play, force up 3 against Columbus.
What's that? Yeah?
So you think the Force took your advice and worked that out?
I think so, yes.
What do you think they need to do for the third period to keep this lead?
I think we need big blocks down there to save some good shots. Get it deep.
All right, Westhoff entering. Poked away by the goaltender from Columbus. Pressured now by Sutherland as he puts it back down low for Westhoff. Westhoff with the puck. Stopped advancement by Columbus. Feeds the crease out front. Nobody home for Fort Wayne as it's picked up by the Blue Jackets and broke out through center ice. Llewellyn and Cumberland back on defense. Poked away by Cumberland onto the stick of Westhoff. Stolen back by the Blue Jackets as Cumberland picks it up along the boards. Ahead for Westhoff. Westhoff dumps it in. Out front, shot, Sutherland, score!
Goal. What a goal by
Isaac Sutherland buries it for Fort Wayne.
Your cup actually up, Kristen. Your cup. You did that one? Oh, wow.
6-2 into the third.
Harrison said hi to me on the ice. Maybe he's gonna score a goal now.
You think he's going to put one in after the wave?
Yes.
Offsides.
He waved at me right before the draw. I think this shift is his goal.
Well, let's see if that comes to fruition as it's back for Kiefer on his stick of phrase. Murphy tied up.
With a new stick.
Gathered by the Blue Jackets. Across the line to game, pressured by Warner as he strips the puck and feeds open ice for Fraze. Fraze now picks it up. Fraze across the line to gain. Murphy out wide, tries to feed it down for Hagen. Has the puck stripped by Columbus. Regathered up by Hagen. Hagen with a stick in the skates as he loses it into the corner. Fraze now with the puck. Back and forth into the neutral zone. D-to-D pass by Fort Wayne. Kiefer now enters and throws it in deep. All the way down the ice by Columbus for icing.
We had a 3 days.
Is that what you want for Christmas, the hippopotamus? No? What do you want? V-Bucks. Shot by Potts is blocked out front by Columbus. Into the neutral zone, gathered by Kelly. Kelly cross ice pass, connects with Fryer. For the moment, back for Blackburn. Blackburn chips it ahead to Fryer, touching the offensive zone. Columbus into open ice. Across the line to gain with Kelly on defense. She strips the puck from him. Tries to get it up and out, can't. Toe drag there by Columbus. Loses it off his stick down low for another Columbus player. Shot saved out front by Quas. Puck blown dead. 11:30 remains in the third. Force up 6-2. We'll see. That would only be his second goal. Yeah, he only has 1 on the year.
How many games have you guys played?
I don't know.
Puck in the skates of Blackburn, cleared out by Kelly into the neutral zone. Does that have enough for icing? Yes. It'll go back down to the other end with 11:09 remaining in the third.
Don't you guys have another game at 1? I think I'm staying for that one. I think I'm staying till like the end of the second.
You gonna hang out with the team and get them going? Focus for the next game?
Maybe. I'm definitely gonna hang out with Harry and Sawyer and like all the players. Breakaway.
Puck stolen by Westhoff. Shot, save there by the Blue Jackets. He's rode into the boards as he comes off his skates. Down low, gathered up by Columbus. Pass. Deflected by Isaac, and now he picks up the puck from that effort. Blue Jackets back the other way. In position there is Cumberland. Up ahead to Zaremba, backhanded into the neutral zone. Sutherland now fights for the puck, comes back down the offensive zone for Fort Wayne, gathered by the Blue Jackets. Cross ice pass, stolen by Llewellyn. Offsides.
That was definitely not a questionable offsides.
That one was really offsides this time?
Yes, that was definitely offsides. Just 1 foot, like he was pretty close. He was like a foot away.
The officials finally got one right.
Imagine the officials watch this video.
Puck back for the Blue Jackets, lose a handle on it. Is up ahead there for Fort Wayne is Fraze. Behind their own net they go. Taken away by Huffman. Back into the corner. 10 minutes remains. Puck kept in at the blue line by Kiefer. Kiefer trying to dump it in deep. Blocked advancement by the Blue Jackets. Now taken away by Hagen. Loose puck gathered by Kiefer. Kiefer down low with Huffman in the slot. Rode all the way around the boards. Hagen joins the mix. Stopped advancement by Huffman. Onto the stick of Hagen. Hagen down low for Fort Wayne. Loses an edge. Loses the puck. Takes down a Blue Jackets player. Up high, gathered by Kiefer. Kiefer tries to feed it to Huffman. Loose puck. Now finally gathered up by the Blue Jackets. Oh, into the zone here. Good block by Warner to stop advancement. Centering feed doesn't quite connect for the Blue Jackets. Up high for Columbus. Pressured by Hagen. Now into the stick of Fraze. Puck ahead for Huffman. Kept in at the blue line by Fort Wayne. Fraze towards the net. Shoots. Kick to the side by Columbus. Columbus with the puck now across the line to gain. Kelly and Warner back on defense.
Stripped by Warner. Picked up by Fraze. Blue Jackets up high. Player falls down. Huffman puts it all the way down the ice, and that'll go for icing. 8:13 remaining in the third. 6-2 Fort Wayne.
Is that defenseman, like the blue helmet kid, is he from Arizona?
I don't think so. I don't know where he's from. I think he's from Fort Wayne.
I know a kid that exact same name. He has that exact same helmet, and he went to P13 camp with me,
Oh, okay.
and he was from Arizona.
Oh, he could be.
Then he moved to Fort Wayne.
Yeah. Pass backwards by Columbus. Doesn't connect and goes all the way down the ice.
Do you play the same team later?
Yeah.
Eight minutes on the clock. 6-2 Force. Kick to the side there by Quas. Not sure if that was on net or not. Blackburn fighting for it down low. Tied up. McDonald joins the mix and picks up the puck with some open ice. Tries to chip it ahead to Fryer. Onto the stick of Potts for the moment. Columbus out wide. Stolen away by Fort Wayne. Columbus back with the puck. Shot towards the net. Save there. Quas. Fryer with the puck now. Loose for Kelly. Kelly throws it high up. Columbus trying to get a shot off. Pressure by Potts. Another save. Quas covers it up.
We asked my art teacher, instead of playing like I wanted to modern Mr. Christmas, we asked for Indian Christmas music.
They play it?
Face-off win by Columbus up high. Shot towards the net. Pad save Quas. Backside attempt there. Couldn't connect. Taken away by Westhoff. Kept in by the Blue Jackets. Onto the stick of Cumberland as he feeds center ice. Pressure by Zaremba. Taken away by Zaremba as he dumps it up high. Westhoff pushes it ahead. Couldn't quite get that breakout opportunity as Columbus mounts an attack the other way.
Do you have a panic attack like I did just there?
Yeah, for sure.
Tipped by Llewellyn, almost in his own net. The puck just went wide. Down the ice for icing.
Close one in the net.
Yeah, that was close.
Harry back out there. Do you always say it by their last name?
Yeah.
.636 remaining in the third. The puck is loose and a couple players skates. Columbus fires one towards the net. Save Quas, gathered up by Hagen in the corner. Hagen looking for open ice. Got Kelly and Fraze ahead of him. Swinging wide, enters with speed. Hagen with a shot. Punched up over the net by the goaltender from Columbus. Kept in by Fraze. He's tied up back to the stick of Hagen.
And a goal by Hagen. Harrison Hagen with a snipe.
Hagen puts a force up 7-2.
Or down snipe by Hagen. What a nasty goal. Fraze kept it in. Passed down to Hagen. What a nip.
Correspondent here, Cash Conley, called that one as Hagen being the next goal after he pointed him out in the crowd. Back and forth now entered by Columbus. Toe drag stolen away by McDonald. Dumped into the neutral zone by Fryer. Columbus gathers once again. Cutting through, stolen by Kelly for the moment. Backhands through the slot. Nobody home for Columbus. Around the backside, wraparound attempt. Pressured by Blackburn. Down low for McDonald. Loose puck. Stolen away by Kelly. Kelly feeds it off the boards. Intercepted by the Blue Jackets as they race towards the net. Pushed into the corner by McDonald. Potts joining the mix up to the blue line for Columbus. They're going to take a shot from deep. Blocked and kicked to the side by Blackburn. Fed out to the slot once again. Onto the stick of McDonald. Loosen his skate. Shot blocked in front by Blackburn. Rebound attempt loose. And pressured in the corner by the Blue Jackets. Tied up. Coming away with it is the Blue Jackets. Shot towards the net. Kick to the side by the pad of Quas. Puck comes up to the blue line. Back down and deep by the Blue Jackets. Blackburn back to get it. Blackburn steals it. Picks it up loose in the corner. Around one player. Blackburn racing head through the neutral zone. Around another player. Blackburn with the puck towards the net. Feeds it across to McDonald. McDonald couldn't quite handle it as the pass attempt was tipped. Back and forth puck goes. Into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Zaremba, the lead skater. Touched up into the neutral zone by Columbus. Onto the stick of Llewellyn. Fans on the pass attempt, but Fryer picks up the loose change. Feeds it up to Zaremba through the legs of the Blue Jackets. Shot from wide. Pad save. Loose. Secondary shot attempt by Sutherland goes wide. Columbus now mounting an attack the other way. 3:30 remains in the third. Out to center ice for Cumberland. Cumberland's fanned on pass attempt. Regains control of the puck. Tips it ahead to Zaremba. Zaremba now towards the net. Cuts in, shot, pad save, Blue Jackets. Stolen away there by Sutherland. Loose puck down low for Columbus. Stolen away by Sutherland right out front of the goaltender. Takes another shot at a sharp angle. It cuts across the ice. Back down for Llewellyn. Llewellyn loosened his skates. Stolen away by Columbus. Pressured by Sutherland. Isaac having a great game. Aiden Cumberland picks up the puck behind the net. Feeds it ahead to Westhoff. Westhoff looking cross ice. Doesn't quite connect with Fraze. As Fraze gathers it back up. Knocked off his skates. And now picked up by Columbus. Entering it into the offensive zone are the Blue Jackets. Ahead is Sutherland. Pins him on the boards as Fraze comes in to get it. Picks up that puck. He's got Westhoff ahead of him with Sutherland. Fraze cutting through center ice. Fraze around a whole team here. Murphy towards the net. Drags it. Shot saved by the Blue Jackets. Cleared out. 2 minutes remains in this one. Puck to center ice for Warner. Warner dumps it in. Huffman, the lead skater for Fort Wayne. Touched in by the Blue Jackets. Stolen away by Hagen onto the stick of Fraze. Fraze backhanding it up to Hagen. Hagen picks up the loose puck. Hagen towards the net. Loses a handle on it. Coming up to gather, it's Warner. Warner drags it around 1, 2. Warner around behind the net. I thought he was going to miss that.
Yeah, I thought too, but
Columbus the other way through the neutral zone. Challenged by Kiefer and now Hagen. Going to have an offsides with 1:19 remaining. 7-2 Fort Wayne.
didn't quite hit the mesh. He tried to. I saw him, but it's close. face-off. Hagen wins it.
Loose puck along the boards. Kiefer battling for it. Onto the stick of Kiefer. Reverses with it. Tied up again. Chips it ahead to Hagen. Hagen now looking for some open ice. He got Fraze ahead of him. 3-on-1 the other way. Hagen into the offensive zone. Looks for Fraze. Connects with him. Shot through the 5-hole.
Goal right. What a pass. Entering by Hagen. Passed it over. No look pass to Fraze. Buried it. 5-hole. That gets the score 8-2. Up by 6. With 57.1 seconds left. Donald taking the face. Final shift of the game.
Cutting through into the offensive zone is Columbus. Forced to the corner by Kelly. Feeding it out front. As a shot from the corner goes off Klaas and into the net.
I'm speechless about that goal. Right off the skate of the goaltender. That gives them a 5-goal lead. Forced up by 5.
48 seconds. The puck comes back for Blackburn. He races through center ice and dumps it into the offensive zone. Fast after it is Max McDonald. Picks up the puck behind the net. Feeds it out front for Potts. Can't get anything on it as he's tied up by the Blue Jackets. Dumped back down low by Fryer. Columbus with possession of the puck. 30 seconds left. Potts picks up the loose puck. Chips it around one player onto the stick of McDonald. McDonald with Fryer. Tries to feed it to him. Into the corner, the loose puck goes. Fryer now backhands it in deep. Tied up along the boards. Under 10 seconds remains. As Columbus picks up the loose puck. Slaps it down the ice. And that'll be it for this one. 8-3 Fort Wayne over the Blue Jackets for game 1.
8-1 with the final score. What a game.
So we'll get everything charged back up and see you back at 1 o'clock for game 2 of Fort Wayne against Columbus. Any comments on that game? How do you think it went?
Went pretty good. Harrison with a hat trick. And yeah, pulled off the win, 8-3. Nothing you can do about those 3 goals, but we're good.
All right, we'll see you back at 1 o'clock.